Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. School-based feeding program ating pagtibayin. Wastong pagkain ating ihahain, mga batang kulang sa timbang. Ating pakakainin ng Go, Grow, and Glow. Adolescent reproductive health ay gawing gabay at patnubay ng batang mausisa ay di maranasan. Ang early pregnancy ay maiiwasan. Kalusugan ay mahalaga sa edukasyon ng mga bata. Tayo na't magkaisa, halina tayo sumama. Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. National Drug Education Program or NDE kung tawagin. Ito'y paigtingin mga bisyo'y alisin. Sigarilyo at droga'y dapat nang puksain. Water sanitation and hygiene in schools ating kompletuhin, 3 stars ay abutin. Malinis na tubig, segregated na toilet, group hand washing at may napkin na rin. Kalusugan ay mahalaga sa edukasyon ng mga bata. Tayo na't magkaisa, halina tayo sumama. Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Medical, dental, and nursing services na atin ding binibigay upang matugunan problemang pangkalusugan ng mga guro at kabataan. Kalusugan ay mahalaga sa edukasyon ng mga bata. Tayo na't magkaisa, halina tayo sumama. Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Okay talaga sa DepEd. Okay talaga sa DepEd.
Good day, everyone. This is Nurse Tin of the School Health and Nutrition section. We are already on the fifth day of our One Health Week, and today we will be discussing about school mental health, which is very timely because do you know that September is actually Suicide Prevention Month? And to start off this session, I would like to call on Dr. Roberto B. Alviar to offer a prayer and a moment of silence for our loved ones and friends who died of suicide.
Sama-sama po nating damhin ang presensya ng ating Panginoon. Sa ngalan ng Ama, ng Anak, ng Diyos, Espiritu Santo. Amen. Diyos amang mapagmahal, kami po'y nagpapasalamat sa iyo sa biyaya ng aming kalusugan. Kalusugan sa aming katawan, sa aming kaisipan, at sa aming kaluluwa. Pinagdadasal po namin ngayon ang World Suicide Prevention Day. Ang mga kapatid namin na magkaiba po ng mga problema sa kanilang kalusugang pangkaisipan. Gabayan niyo po sila. Iligtas niyo po sila. Bigyan po sila ng mga taong makakaunawa sa kanila at makakatulong sa kanila. At pinagdarasal din po namin na kaming lahat ay maligtas sa ganitong karamdaman sa aming kaisipan. Ito po'y aming hinihiling sa pamamagitan ni Kristong aming Panginoon. Amen.
To give us an inspirational message, let's all welcome Ms. Ruth D. Salom, Senior Education Program Specialist.
Maraming salamat po, Doc Bong Alviar, sa pagpapakilala po sa akin. Nais ko pong batiin kayong lahat ng isang araw na punong-puno ng pag-asa. Sa ngalan po ng pamunuan ng Schools Division Office of Caloocan, sa pamumuno po ng ating Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Nerissa L. Losaria Seso 6, sa ating pong mga OIC, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Diosdado S. Medina at Ma'am Flor de Lisa D. Pereira, binabati ko po kayong lahat. Nais ko rin pong batiin ang ating mga kasama sa School Health and Nutrition section. Ang atin pong mga dentist na pinangungunahan po ng kanilang dentist in charge, Dr. Josefina Sanchez. At syempre po sa atin pong mga nurses na pinamumunuan ng atin pong nurse in charge, Ma'am Annabel Oblipias. At ang atin pong School Health and Nutrition section ay under po syempre ng Schools Governance and Operations Division na pinamumunuan po ng ating Chief Education Supervisor, Dr. Ivy C. Perez. Yan. Pagbati po sa inyong lahat. Ganon din po, syempre, lahat po ng mga sumusubaybay po sa programa natin ngayon. Ang atin pong mga school heads, mga teachers, mga non-teaching personnel, mga magulang po natin, mga mag-aaral, at lahat po ng stakeholders na kasama po natin ngayon. Isa pong pagbati na punong-puno ng pag-asa. Ano po ba ang pag-asa para sa atin? Para po sa akin, ang pag-asa po ay ang paniniwala na may magandang darating sa buhay natin. Kahit po sa ngayon, hindi pa natin ito nakikita. So, yun po talaga yung pag-asa. Yung naniniwala ka na despite dun sa mga nararanasan mo ngayon, lahat ito ay lilipas din at merong magandang buhay na dadating. Sa atin pong panglimang araw ng One Health Week, napakahalaga po ng tatalakayin natin ngayong araw. Ito po ay ukol sa ating kalusugan. Ito po yung ating kalusugang pangkaisipan o yung tinatawag po natin na mental health. At ito po ay nakafocus ngayong araw sa suicide prevention. Ito po ay talagang napapanahon ngayon, lalo na po ngayong pandemic. Lagi pong may mga lockdown, kaya madalas po wala tayong makausap. Minsan po nalulungkot tayo sa ating sitwasyon, hindi po ba? At ngayong araw po na ito, September 10, ito po yung araw na ino-observe natin ang World Suicide Prevention Day. Yan. So ito po ay hindi lang po inaalala sa Pilipinas, kundi po sa buong mundo. Ito po ay may temang Working Together to Prevent Suicide. So pinapaalala po ng araw na ito na kailangan nating magkaroon ng tamang kamalayan o awareness tungkol po sa suicide. Sabi po nila, ito pong suicide ay isang emergency na maaaring mapigilan kung tayo po ay makikiisa at tutulong. According po sa World Health Organization, sa kanila pong 2019 data, ang suicide daw po ang pang-apat o fourth leading cause of death para po sa ating mga teenagers na may edad 15 hanggang 19 years old. At mahigit daw po sa 700 katao ang namamatay taon-taon dahil po sa suicide. Alarming po nitong data na ito, no? Sabi pa po ng World Health Organization, madami daw po ang nangyayaring ganito kapag tayo ay dumadaan sa mga krisis sa ating buhay. Tulad po ng financial problem, relationship breakup, chronic pain or illness o yung matinding sakit. Tapos nagkakaroon daw po tayo ng breakdown. Nawawalan tayo ng abilidad para harapin ito. Nawawalan tayo ng pag-asa o kakayahang maisip na may magandang bukas pang darating. Alam ko po hindi tayo pare-pareho ng pinagdadaanan at hindi rin po pare-pareho yung ating coping mechanism. Pero sa tuwing pong ako ay may pinagdadaanan sa buhay, may iba't ibang ginagawa rin po akong paraan para malampasan ito. Kadalasan po, dinadaan ko po sa dasal. Minsan po, dinadaan ko sa iyak. May mga pagkakataon din po na namamalengke ako para po makalimutan ko yung pinagdadaanan ko. Minsan naman po, nakikinig po ako sa mga awit or mga inspirational song. Isa po dun sa pinaka-paborito ko is yung Trust His Heart. Share ko lang po yung ilang lines ng awiting Trust His Heart. Sabi po dito, He sees the master plan and He holds our future in His hand. So don't live as those who have no hopes. All our hope is found in Him. Sabi pa po, God is too wise to be mistaken. God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, when you can trace His hand, trust His heart. Pero mayroon talaga pong mga pagkakataon, no, sa buhay natin na kailangan din po natin na may makausap. Kapag po minsan, tingin natin parang hindi na po natin kaya. Kasi sabi po nila, ang suicide daw po ay isang cry for help. Pero minsan, sa panahon na kailangan natin ng tulong, hindi natin to makita. Sa pamamagitan po ng talakayan natin ngayong araw, nawa po, malaman natin na sa ganito pong laban, hindi po tayo nag-iisa. Meron po tayong mga kasama na maaaring pong tumulong sa atin. Kaya kung hindi man po natin masabi yung ating mga problema dun sa ating mga mahal sa buhay, sa ating pong mga malalapit na kaibigan, meron pa rin pong mga profesional na maaaring makinig at tumulong po sa ating mga pinagdadaanan. Isa na po dito yung ating pong partner, ang Philippine Mental Health Association. Kailangan lang po nating maging aware kung paano sila makakontak. So meron po talagang mga nakalaan na hotline na pwede po nating tawagan para po makipag-ugnayan sa kanila. Kaya nagpapasalamat po kami sa talagang pagbuo nitong programa na ito. Malaking tulong po ito para tayo ay maging aware tungkol po dito sa suicide prevention at paano tayo makakatulong doon sa mga nakakaranas ng pag-iisip na meron ngayon tungkol dito. Nawa po sa pamagitan ng talakayan natin na ito, tayo po ay lalo pang mapuno ng pag-asa. Dahil alam po natin na sa kabila ng mga pagsubok na nararanasan natin, sa likod po ng pandemya na meron tayo ngayon, masabi po ng ating mga isip na kaya natin to, may mga kasama tayo, may makakatulong tayo. Sabi nga po, pagdaanan lang natin, huwag po nating tatambayan. Muli po, isang magandang araw sa ating lahat na punong-puno ng pag-asa. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Ma'am Ruth B. Salum, for your very heartwarming message. And now, to give us a knowledge about mental health, may we call on Ms. Maria Cecilia C.
We're gonna talk about the mental health, no? Kasi affected. There's a growing concerns and at the same time, growing talk about mental health kasi nagkakaroon ng mga emotions na we're maybe not aware of, and there's a growing campaign already for us to have self-awareness and at the same time to look into ourselves of what's going on deep within. Because dahil nga nagkaroon na ng change, no? And we are calling it the new normal already. So hindi na yung dating gawin natin, hindi na yun yung nangyayari at this moment in time. So may change. And ang change kasi would take us will allow us to adjust, no, sa mga bagay na ginagawa natin. But this change can also be seen as a chance or an opportunity for us to discover ourselves, no? And not just to discover ourselves, but it's also a way for us to give full attention of ourselves, so that at the end of the journey, at the end of this journey, we can say that all is well, no? All is well with the increased threat to mental health as well in the youth. Napapansin nyo yan, napapanood nyo yan sa news. And even kayo, sometimes, you're catching yourself feeling sad, diba? And these are some of the emotions that you might be feeling, no? Or nare-recognize nyo, may emptiness, may loneliness, diba? May fear nga, just as I've mentioned kanina, may numbness na, no? Anxiety, irritability, anger, stress na, may automatic stress na tinatawag, no? Na we can't somehow name kung saan nanggagaling yun, yung may confusion na. And for us to continue journeying this life, no, we will understand and learn how to develop positive self-concept. You see, when you say all is well, it doesn't necessarily that there is no trouble, there is no difficulty, no? But when we say all is well, in the midst of crisis, in the midst of, what's been happening, we can still say that I can get up, no? I can stand my ground, makakatayo ako, makakapag-continue ako sa buhay, okay? And at the same time, may resiliency, no? I can get back up at the end of the day, no matter how hopeless is the case. So this afternoon, we're gonna talk about self-concept, no? Kung paano mag-develop ng self-concept, because this is essential, especially sa mga na-experience natin today because of the pandemic. So we're gonna answer these questions. One is, what's the meaning of self-concept? Okay? And then later on, bakit nga ba importante ang pagkakaroon ng positive self-concept? And the last one is how to develop a positive self-concept. Alright? So ano nga ba yung self-concept? Okay? According to a social psychologist who is known for his study, no, on the self, social rejection, and at the same time belongingness, this is how he defined self-concept. So he defined that individual's belief, no? Self-concept is the individual's belief about himself or herself, including, of course, person's attributes and who and what the self is. So kayo, at this moment in time, you might be thinking already, oo nga no, paano ko ba pinapaniwalaan or ano yung nakikita ko tungkol sa sarili ko? Sino ako at ano ako? Alright? Or maybe some of you haven't thought of that yet. Yung nagkaroon kayo ng time na uupo lang kayo and then you would reflect and you will give full attention of yourself. Baka hindi pa nangyayari yon, ano? So that's how Baumeister, no, defined it. Meron ding American psychologist who is expert, no? He is one of the founders among humanistic approach, no? And his name is Carl Rogers. According to him, okay, there are 3 parts of self-concept daw. May different may three different components. Okay, when we talk about self-concept, number one, pinag-uusapan natin yung self-image according to him. So ano nga ba yung self-image? Ang self-image, similar to what Baumeister described self-concept, ito rin yung how do we see ourselves, no? When we look at the mirror, have you ever experienced that na ang tagal niyo lang sa mirror, nakaharap lang kayo sa mirror and you're really viewing yourself, no? And self-concept, it's also a combination of a person's attributes, okay, including the physical characteristics. So ito yung nakikita natin na physical, no? Na-visualize natin. Maganda ba yung mata natin? Matangos yung ilong natin? Yung complexion ba natin is acceptable? So ito yung mga physical description that one is describing. So not just that, the personal traits as well. So combination din siya ng physical characteristics, personal traits, personality traits, and the social roles, yung mga roles natin sa society. So yung personality traits, ito yung pattern ng thoughts natin, ng feelings natin, at yung behavior na nakikita natin from ourselves. Yun ang personality traits. While the social roles, kung ano yung part na ginagampanan natin, say sa school, when you go out with your friends, no? And there are times that hindi consistent the way we see ourselves, no? Yung view natin, hindi consistent sa kung ano yung reality, right? Maybe you might be considering or thinking right now na may mga traits tayo, personality traits tayo, na when we act in front of people, it's different if we're alone. Kung tayo lang, or may mga pag-uugali or siguro mga nararamdaman na kapag kasama natin yung mga kaibigan natin sa labas, iba kapag kasama natin yung mga pamilya natin sa loob ng bahay. And there are also situations where one is inflating, no, the self-image. So iba na bibigyan niya ng sobrang pagpapahalaga, no, ang self-image, and others naman they have this feeling and nagkakaroon ng exaggeration, no, kung ano yung lacking, kung ano yung kulang sa sarili. And at the same time, not just kung ano yung kulang sa sarili, kung ano yung mga flaws sa sarili na hindi naman nakikita ng ibang tao. So, yun yung self-image. Well, the self-esteem, ito naman yung how we value ourselves. So, the question of valuing ourselves, di ba? Pag nagpapahalaga tayo sa sarili natin, pinibigyan natin ito ng pagkakataon na maramdaman, marinig, no? At mag-improve, no, yung sarili natin. So, if I will ask you this afternoon, okay, how do you value yourself? Okay, binavalue nyo ba yung self nyo? Pinahahalagahan nyo ba? You see, there are factors, no, that can influence our self-esteem. And the factors, one of the factors is yung how do we compare ourselves to others. So, most of us, if not all, merong times na we tend to compare ourselves to others, especially sa social media, right? Now that we are in lockdown and mas mahaba pa yung pagstay natin sa home, especially your age 0 to 21 are encouraged to stay at home. And yung mga high risk na senior citizens, right? So pag nagstay tayo sa bahay, you know, most of the time, what we're doing is, you know, engaging ourselves to social media. And once na nasa social media tayo, marami tayong nakikita na suddenly, ang saya naman niya, di ba? Like someone posted something that what she's doing, right? So unknowingly, or both consciously and unconsciously, nako-compare natin yung sarili natin. And when we also show positive behaviors to other people, and kapag nag-respond sila positively, kasi pinakitaan natin sila ng magandang pag-uugali, then what happens is yung self-esteem natin tumataas, okay, nadidevelop. Kapag naman ang response ng mga people around us, negative naman, so doon naman natin nararamdaman na bumababa yung self-esteem natin. So that's how this American psychologist explain it. And the third one is ideal self. Yung ideal self natin is, these are the things that I wish I could be someone. So ito yung mga wini-wish natin na gusto kong maging, no? And at the same time, it's different naman to how we would want to be in ourselves. So merong somehow ganong situation sa ideal self. Ito yung gusto ko, but currently the way I describe myself is different from the way I would want to see myself, no? So yun ang self-concept. That's why it's so essential, no, for us to really put full attention and give ourselves time to reflect. Nakilalanin din yung sarili natin first before we can build, no, with others. So that's important. Paano ba nakikreate? Paano ba nalilikha, no? Yung self natin, yung self concept natin. According to study, these are the factors kung paano natin nalilikha yung sarili natin growing up. Okay? Kung sino ka ngayon. So, una, family background. When we reflect about ourselves, syempre tinitingnan natin kung ano yung status, no, ng family natin. Ano yung mga traits in the family that we have observed all throughout that you're living, no? Sa family ba, open ba, no, to communicate your emotions? Okay? Kasi may nagsasabi na although there's physical presence, emotionally absent naman. So I've talked to some of the students, no, na marami akong naririnig na hindi po kami sanay na mag-share kung ano yung nararamdaman namin. Or others naman would describe it like may mga parents na, you know, it has also to do with the way they grew up, no? Maybe, kasi may mga parents naman ding pag sinabi ko daw, pag shinare ko po yung nararamdaman ko, for example, nalulungkot ako or may tumatakbo sa isip ko, no, na somehow harmful. Pag ino-open sa parents ng ibang mga students, the parents would say, quote and quote, no, but of course, not taking it against them. Dahil baka yun lang yung split of tongue, no? Yun lang yung nasabi nilang bigla na nag-iinarte ka lang. O kaya sometimes, kaya mo yan kaagad na response, no, towards sa kung ano man yung gusto mong i-open na emotions, no? So may ganong trait sa family. So, may factor yon para makapag-create tayo ng what kind of self-concept, no? Do we want to see ourselves? Tapos yung childhood environment then, di ba? Growing up, even before you were in the womb of your mom, what was the emotions of your parents? So it has also to do with that, no? Na na-form then yung individual because of that. At the same time, ano yung environment when you were the formative years, no? Yung formative years kasi is until 5 years old. So how was the environment sa family, sa neighbors? Nagkaroon ba ng unconditional positive regard? And when you say unconditional positive regard, it talks about yung kapag nagagalit ka ba, were you allowed to somehow express, no? Yung mga emotions in such a way that you wouldn't feel guilty, no? So may ganong factor. Of course, education, yung ability mo to perform, no, in your school. So have you noticed yourself like when you get a high grades, then you feel good, right? And then when you get naman lower grades or suddenly may bagsak because of valid reason, suddenly you would feel sad. You would feel like I'm not worthy anymore. So may mga ganon. So it has factor din siya, no, of creating self-concept. And again, social interaction. How are you when you socialize? No? Ikaw ba ay introvert or extrovert or ambivalent? 'Di ba? May mga ganon. And it has also to do with your spirituality, no? Yung faith mo. Saan mo, sa ano yung foundation ng faith mo. So these are the collective research, no, na paano ma-create ang self-concept. Now, bakit nga ba importante na magkaroon ng positive self-concept, no? Bakit siya essential? Kailangan ba talaga siya? So those questions. You see, it's important because number one, it influences how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. Kasi our mind is very strong, no? It's powerful. What we think, we become. There's this philosopher who stated that. So partly it's true and it's happening. Kaya mag-start siya on how we think about ourselves. And then affected na yung feelings natin and yung behavior natin. So kaya it's very essential, no, to build a positive self-concept. And the second reason is also so that you can protect yourself from possible destruction. Kasi once na yung self-concept natin is hindi na-build or na-develop or hindi nag-grow, the things that can possibly happen is pwedeng kapag malungkot ka or kapag ka napansin mo yung sarili mo na parang you feel like lazy tapos hindi lang one day, no? Umabot na ng 2 days, 3 days, tapos naging 1 week na, you can't get up na, nawalan na ng eagerness, nawalan na ng hope, then somehow, threat siya kasi it's like nalulose mo na yung eagerness or yung motive to live, 'di ba? Because you're already questioning the meaning of life, you're already somehow feeling down already because of what's happening. Kaya important ang mag-build ng self-concept, especially this season. And then the last one, it allows you to journey in life and leads you in welcoming your future. You see, even if we can say one way or another na indescribable yung nangyayari ngayon, no? Actually, the reality seems to be hopeless. But if you're able to develop positive self-concept, then you will always see a brighter side, no? From the dark side. Kumbaga, have you heard this statement na there's always light after the tunnel? Na you know, part of life, naturally, we face different kinds of hindrances and challenges. But those challenges can break us or make us. Okay? Can break us in a sense that hindi na natin nakita yung sarili natin that we're getting back up or standing. Kasi we weren't able to develop positive self-concept. So now, how to develop positive self-concept? Because it's important. And essential siya, no, in facing life. And I will give you some practical ways that's so easy, and you can do that on your own. And then so that you won't forget it, I created the I Discover. See, kung ano yung nangyayari ngayon, it's new. This generation, we just first experience yung pandemic crisis, no, yung coronavirus. So, dahil first time natin siyang na-experience, let's discover. You put yourself and allow yourself to be in self-discovery. So, can everyone say, I discover? All right. So, how to develop? First is to identify my uniqueness. So, I made my statement, the word my, so that you can also verbalize. You can also say it, no? Identify my uniqueness. You see, everyone is unique, all right? No matter how you think about yourself compared to others, unique ka pa rin, nag-iisa ka, no? Wala kang katulad. You have your own unique giftings, you have your own unique talents na wala ang ibang tao. So, paano mo ba malalaman kung ano yung mga unique qualities mo and unique traits, no? You ask yourself these questions. What makes me unique? Of course, no? What are the things I notice myself? Diba? Give yourself time also. Have one-on-one with yourself. Ask what are the things I notice myself that makes me happy? What are the things that I notice myself that makes me feel good? That makes my family and friends appreciate about me. Diba? So that's number one, to identify, to name, ano ba yung unique sa akin? Okay? So that when you find yourself somehow comparing it, no, especially pag nag-scroll ka sa social media, pag nakita mo na halimbawa nag-post ng face, 'di ba? Matangos ang ilong, and then napansin mo sa self mo, hindi naman masyadong pango yung ilong ko or matangos, but okay lang. But it's unique because I'm unique. 'Di ba? Nag-iisa lang tong ilong na to. So, there. Tapos, develop my support group. Ano ba yung support group? Yung support group are those people whom you can trust that whenever you need, ears na mapakinggan ka, they're there for you. And hindi lang para pakinggan ka, but they are trusted people, no? Na you can be safe, na you will not be invalidated. But whenever you think of these people, no? Okay, pag tinawagan ko si ganito, I can share to this friend or to this person that I identified kung ano yung mga na-experience ko at anong nararamdaman ko ngayon without judgment. So these are that people. So sino-sino ba to? It could be your family members, it could be your friends, peers, and it could also be people from organizations, no? Maraming youth organizations. Just what like yung organization where I'm affiliated with, no? So you can call them also ates, kuyas, whom you can trust, and whom you can be yourself, no? And then I discover, okay, so we are in self-discovery to develop a positive self-concept. Initiate activities with family members. When you say initiate, manggagaling sa'yo, may kusa. Okay? Don't wait for your family members to do something for you. But right now, you can do something, okay? So that you can have connection and deeper connection with your family members. So ikaw na yung magkusa. Paano ka magkukusa? Start up a conversation during mealtime. For example, one of the things siguro, if ang dynamic sa family nyo, okay, sabay-sabay dapat kumain. Ganon, di ba? And then, currently, ang nagiging picture kapag nasa table, naka-cellphone pa rin, di ba? Social media pa rin. So now that you're here and you're joining this seminar, you can initiate na ikaw mismo, wag ka muna mag-social media, and then start up a conversation. Anong ginawa mo kanina? Kamusta yung trabaho? Ako po, ito yung nangyari sa akin. Yung gano'n. And then how to initiate activities with family members, then help in the household chores. You know, when you do household chores, it's therapeutic also. Try. Kung ikaw yung adolescents na hindi ka ma-household chores, try mong maghugas ng plato tonight. Tapos i-observe mo yung sarili mo. Sige nga, try ko yung sinabi ni Coach Ses na maghugas ako ng plate. Tapos habang naghugas ka ng plate, after mong maghugas, recognize yourself. Listen to yourself. Ano yung mararamdaman mo? So I challenge you, you'll really somehow thank yourself. You'll feel good, no, na nakapaghugas ka. Another thing is join your parents in watching news or your siblings in movies. Siyain mo sila, di ba? May mga times that you want to be alone. That's fine. But wag naman most of the time, okay? So give yourself time where you can also spend with them. Okay? So I discover is to sleep well. Very important yung sleep. Sa age na your age, no, ang suggested sleeping time is 7 to 10 hours, 7 to 9 hours. Bakit importante yung sleep? Kasi connected siya sa physical health natin, and at the same time, yung concentration natin, okay? Affected din yung concentration natin kung wala tayong sleep. So, by this time, pansinin nyo din yung sarili nyo na, okay, para pala makapag-develop ako ng positive self-concept, I need to sleep. I need to have enough sleep. Okay? So if you recall the past 7 days, were you able to sleep ng at least 7 to 9 hours? Try nyo. And pag chinek nyo, pag naalala nyo, kung ang tulog niya lang is 4 to 5 hours the past 7 days na every night, no? Or kaya less than 5 hours, pansinin nyo, ang low ng pakiramdam. Okay? So that's important, no? To have enough sleep. So sleep well. And then C, call myself out from unhealthy thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. calling yourself out means confronting. Okay, when do you confront yourself? When do you call yourself out? Prolonged emotional stress. So alam natin yun, like anyone who is aware, no, with oneself can say whether ang condition ng emotions is low or high or wala lang or so-so lang, diba? So call yourself out. Say to yourself, I will call myself out. Okay? And then there are irrational thoughts. Ano ba yung irrational thoughts na na-form? Ayan, yung sa picture. Diba? You always think na I'm going to fail. I can't do anything right. Okay? They must hate me. So these are the thoughts that were formed sa mind natin na inalaw natin, no, na ma-form, no, sa mind natin. And then may mga times na I don't talk to people. I don't want to talk to people, no? And isolating yourself. So call it out, okay? I'm recognizing right now, why do I feel like I just want to be alone for a long time, no? So that's also how you can develop a positive self-concept. So these are the things that you have to be watchful of, no? And to call yourself out, no? When you think na I can't do anything right, isa lang yung mali mo, kunwari na natanghali ka lang ng gising tapos konting napagsabihan ka, for you it's already it's magnified already, no? You see yourself like baka bigla mong isipin, they hate me, they don't like me. So call out yourself, no? When you think about these things. And so discover, where malapit na tayo mag-end, observe myself at all times. Okay? So, mahilig tayong mag-observe ng other people's lives, right? But we don't give ourselves time to observe our own self, no? The way we think, the way we feel, kamusta ba yung day natin. So, notice mo naman yung the things that you have done good, no? Every day. Tapos, appreciate yourself. Sometimes, appreciation from other people, we don't get it right away because people would always think that, you know, you should do better. That's, you know, you can do good. Ganun na lang palagi. And yet, we're not receiving appreciation. So, in observing yourself, you can also try to appreciate your own self, no? And then observe, ano yung mararamdaman mo ulit? Ano yung nangyayari within you? Okay? And then increase your self-awareness. How to increase self-awareness? By observing yourself at all times, self-monitoring. And then validate myself constantly. So give myself a pat, okay, on the shoulder. You know, good job, sis. Good job, AJ. And then commend myself when I accomplish something. For example nga, maghugas ka ng plato tonight kasi hindi ka naghugas ng plato ever. Na after mong maghugas, wow, you were able to wash the dishes. So, ganon, di ba? So, i-commend mo yung self mo and then accept and embrace yourself. I'm gonna accept and I'm gonna embrace myself. Why do I need to accept myself? Because I am unique. I identified it. Okay? Enhance myself. So, very quick, enhancing yourself would mean attending webinar like this. So, congratulations, everyone. Okay? Tap yourself on the shoulder. Good job. You're able to attend this webinar and you're gonna learn a lot. And then care for myself by doing things I like. Ano ba yung gusto mong mga gawin? Gusto mo bang mag-drawing? Mag-draw ka. After mong mag-draw, mag-isip ka, no? Ng pwede mong salihan. Especially now, even if it's limited kasi hindi ka makalabas, may mga webinar trainings or may mga youth group organizations online na inaano nila depende sa field, no, ng group of that people. So join ka doon and then set healthy boundaries. Pag sinabing setting healthy boundaries, you should also learn how to say no, no? Kapag ka toxic na or na feel mo, na observe mo sa self mo na medyo affected na yung emotions mo, then you can set boundaries. You can communicate, no? Na I think I must give myself a time para mas makilala ko yung sarili ko. And then the last one is respond positively to challenges and crises. So, how to respond? Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. So quick to listen kapag merong mga misunderstanding, especially I can say na most of the misunderstanding that we are experiencing are with the family siguro, no? Kasi lagi natin silang kasama, and then yung mga siblings natin. So kapag may tension na, since you are already learning, no, that being aware of myself is essential to build a positive self-concept, kapag may understanding, ikaw na din yung unang, okay, wait, I'll listen first. I will not say anything. And then, okay, slow. I'm not saying not to be angry, but to slow to become angry, to get angry. And then manage your worry. Okay? So it's not really removing completely, no, our negative thoughts or our negative feelings, because it's part of who we are. It's our nature. But to manage it, okay, would allow us to grow, to have positive self-concept and be calm. Okay? Kalma ka lang. Kalma. Stay calm, di ba? Ganon. So you can tell yourself kapag may tension na, okay, kapag nakikita mo na nagre-react ka na, rather than responding, you talk to yourself. Okay, kalma ka lang, kalma ka lang. Kung ako si AJ, kalma ka lang, AJ, kalma ka lang, AJ. So in summary, these are the practical ways, no? Practical consideration and suggestions how you can build and develop positive self-concept. I discover, identify my uniqueness, develop my support group, initiate activities with family members, sleep well, call myself out, observe myself at all times, validate myself constantly, enhance myself, and respond positively to challenges and crises. There's this anonymous who mentioned that the self is not something that one finds. So you're not looking for it, you're not looking yourself, but it is something that one creates. So today, this afternoon, I hope after this webinar, you'll be able to create, no, a positive self-concept. You'll be able to create a self, no, as you discover it, no, and declare this, say it. You know, there's power in our words, no? That's why when we hear statements and words that's, you know, somehow affected our emotions, yun na yung nangyayari, no? And just observe it. That's why you declare it, I am beautifully and wonderfully made by Creator, by my Creator. Write down 5 things you suddenly think about yourself. So yung naisip mo lang, sino ba ako? Ano ako? So write 5 things, okay? Huwag mong pag-isipan ng malalim. Isipin, write down lang. And then read each item aloud and notice yourself which from those you feel confident and which ones aren't. So pag binasa mo, for example, ako ay masiyahin kapag kasama ko ang aking mga kaibigan. Okay? I'm smiling if I get to watch, for example, Korean drama series. And then, kapag meron kang nasulat na you feel like you're not confident, parang, ay, ito pala din yung naisip ko suddenly about myself, I'd like you to write a counter statements to items you weren't comfortable with and read it aloud once again. For example, suddenly naisip mo about yourself na malungkot ako kapag wala akong kinakausap na mga kaibigan. Okay? So that's something na, of course, you're not confident to say because nalulungkot ka pag wala kang kausap. Then write a counter statement for that. Makikipag-usap ako sa mga kaibigan ko para maging masaya ko.
Thank you, Ma'am Ces, for the very informative session. Indeed, we are beautifully and wonderfully made by our Creator. And now, for the closing ritual, the school health and nutrition personnel have prepared a short video to raise awareness to those people who struggle. Let us all watch this.
I'm strong beyond my years, but they don't see inside of me. I'm hiding all the tears. They don't know that I come running home when I fall down. They don't know who picks me up when no one is around. I drop my sword and I cry for just a while, 'cause deep inside this armor, the warrior.
Dear suicidal you,
For watching this, it means you're fighting something inside of you that's screaming to let everything go.
Means you're listening to that one voice inside your head that's telling you to hold on and fight for just one more day.
You struggle to get a grip of your feelings, but all you can do is hope, for it will end.
And if you like me, you just want to fade away, so you cannot bother anyone anymore.
You think you will no longer be a burden. You think you are giving up.
Even though you don't see it right now, you are fighting. By sitting down listening to this, you are fighting.
That little voice inside your head is questioning if this is really what you want.
And it's not. So listen to your voice and hold on. I promise you, it's get better. Sure, it's a cliche to say that, but it does.
3 years ago, I wouldn't have believed anyone who tried to tell me that. But today, I woke up in the arms of the one I love.
A year ago, I faced the biggest heartbreak. And this morning, I looked in the mirror and truly smiled for the first time since I was a little kid.
For 8 years, I've wanted and tried to end my life. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it.
so pick up your phone and dial the number you keep repeating in your head if you're anything like me.
Talk to someone you trust and loves you unconditionally, and breathe.
Because you can, and you'll get through this. You will come out of here as a warrior, a survivor.
You are going to get through it.
Sometimes I take pictures. Selfies have made my confidence fly through the roof.
We must hold on to moments like this. We all need someone to lean on sometimes. And above, we need to keep fighting because we are worth it. Love someone who has been there. Thank you everyone, and see you again tomorrow on our day 6 of One Health Week. Remember, you always have to choose stay. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay. Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. School-based feeding program ating pagtibayin. Wastong pagkain ating ihahain, mga batang kulang sa timbang. Ating pakakainin ng Go, Grow, and Glow. Adolescent reproductive health ay gawing gabay at patnubay ng batang mausisa ay di maranasan. Ang early pregnancy ay maiiwasan. Kalusugan ay mahalaga sa edukasyon ng mga bata. Tayo na't magkaisa, halina tayo'y sumama. Tara na okay, Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay, Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. National Drug Education Program or NDE kung tawagin. Ito'y paigtingin mga bisyo'y alisin, sigarilyo at droga'y dapat nang puksain. Water sanitation and hygiene in schools, ating kompletuhin, 3 stars ay abutin. Malinis na tubig, segregated na toilet, group hand washing at may napkin na rin. Kalusugan ay mahalaga sa edukasyon ng mga bata. Tayo na't magkaisa, halina tayo'y sumama. Tara na okay, Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay, Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Medical, dental, and nursing services na atin ding binibigay upang matugunan problemang pangkalusugan ng mga guro at kabataan. Kalusugan ay mahalaga sa edukasyon ng mga bata. Tayo na't magkaisa, halina tayo'y sumama. Tara na okay, Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay, Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Tara na okay, Oplan kalusugan sa DepEd. Halina't alamin atin ang tuklasin, mga health programs ating palaganapin. Okay talaga sa DepEd. Okay talaga sa DepEd.